McCormick. I thank you greatly for the opportunity to come share with the Commission the very interesting work and relevant work that LA County Registrar Recorder is doing in the field of data science and advanced data analytic technique as it pertains to the managing of our poll worker programs. I'd like to share a little bit of some data with you to highlight the challenges that a large county faces as it pertains to trying to find enough poll workers to man many, many precincts to serve many, many voters. To give you an idea, for the November 2014 general election, we were able to recruit a little over 24,000 poll workers to man a little over 4,500 precincts. And we made it. We got our, we hit our numbers. We didn't see long lines. While there were some hiccups out in the field, voters received the services that we intended to provide to them. However, to highlight the challenge of finding that many people, we had to call and speak with roughly 36,500 individuals. So the question then is, why the gap? Why so many more people than we actually needed? Well, as it turns out, we saw about 4,400 folks that we did call and get commitments from end up calling us back and telling us, sorry, can't do it, for a myriad of reasons. Could have been childcare, could have been illness, or simply lack of desire. That happens, right? Also saw about 2,500 folks, when we did call them, share with us, either politely or impolitely, a no thank you. They were just not interested. But the worst for us, because it has such a tremendous effect on Election Day, are our no-shows, because we can't know until that day when they don't show up. We saw 5,500 individuals that we thought we had commitments from not show up. So what does that mean? Well, that could potentially mean poll locations not opening on time, slowed because we didn't have enough folks there, materials not where they need to be. So it causes tremendous delay, and it causes tremendous amount of resources being spent by our organization trying to send folks out last minute, identify new folks to get them out there, so on and so forth. So it's a true challenge for us. So if you can imagine, if we had a crystal ball and we knew who to call and get commitments from versus not who to call and get commitments from, that would be great for us. Well, we've attempted to develop a crystal ball so we would have more success in being able to, on Election Day, have the right people out there that we knew were committed and were working for the department. So as part of the data analytics project, we've been able to develop a prediction algorithm that is able to classify for our recruiters who the right people are to call when recruiting from a pool of about 109,000 individuals that have worked for us at some point in the past, right? And while I will not get into, given my brief remarks, how that statistical modeling works, I'm happy to answer those questions at a later point. I will say this. In simulated elections, we're seeing on average for a general election about a 67% success rate without the model. With the model, we're seeing an 88% success rate. What does that actually mean? Well, if we were to redo 2014 over using this model, where we saw 12,500 negative outcomes of no-shows and cancellations, using this model, we would reduce that number down to about 3,000. So while it's not a perfect algorithm, it doesn't pretend to be a perfect algorithm, we're seeing a 75% reduction in the number of negative outcomes, which basically means we're still able to find the right people while not have to worry about having the wrong people that we thought we could count on that we can't really count on. So we are now at the point of being able to operationalize this algorithm. Our recruiters are using the new lists that's being generated for them from this prediction algorithm. And the lists are basically the name of the poll worker and a score associated based on what the algorithm sees in their data pattern, and a threshold saying, you know what, call the people that are above this threshold and don't call the people below this certain threshold. And if you run out of folks, we can move the threshold down, still maintaining high levels of accuracy. So we'll see from the primary election how that actually goes. Likewise, as a part of recruitment, as you can imagine, there are hard-to-recruit poll locations. They consistently come up from election to election, and we don't get the staffing that we need for a myriad of reasons. So as part of the data analytics program, we've been able to identify ahead of time. So instead of waiting till the last minute and realizing, oh my goodness, we still have boards of 2 or we didn't make our numbers, we're able to anticipate ahead of time which areas should we concentrate more resources up front so that we can find the right staffing so that at the end we're not in a pinch. And lastly, I'd like to share with you, and this is currently in development, I see that my time's running out. Lastly, in development right now is a prediction algorithm that will help us identify for any future election what turnout will be at the precinct level. As you can imagine, what the business applications are for that. Particularly if we can identify hot precincts that we expect that we need to have additional staff for poll workers, we'll know ahead of time as we go into that election how many more poll workers we need to have at those special hot precincts, how many additional supplies, how many additional ballots, so on and so forth, based on predicted turnout. So that's the type of work that we are doing in LA County. The idea is to move our management of these programs into a more data-driven approach so that we can have more impactful management decisions that will yield better outcomes for us. I thank you for the time, and I'm happy to answer further questions at a later time.